So Tanya Hosch, the AFL has been tapping into brilliant footballing talent of First Nations peoples for years. The problems these young men and now also young women face when they are separated from their communities and are a long way from home have been documented countless times. After these reports today, why on earth should Indigenous communities entrust the league with their young men?
Yeah, well, young men and women now, Laura. That's a great question. I think that any parent of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander children know that they're always going to be concerned about the treatment of their children wherever they might go. What I can say is that I believe that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people at whatever level, men and women coming into the system, boys and girls, are likely to be much safer now than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But it's a constant matter that we've got to be absolutely vigilant about, because as this report has demonstrated, there's a lot of talk out there, not just in sport but across the country, about cultural safety. And what has been uncovered with this report is extremely serious allegations.
Well, the AFL has had an Indigenous Advisory Committee for 10 years. It celebrates the Indigenous round. It's appointed you. What's going on is that there seems to be some systemic problem here.
I think that, you know, the question you ask about the systemic issues, Laura, are the questions that do need to be asked. What is happening that has enabled, you know, allegations with this kind of gravity to have occurred in the first place? And we're not talking very long ago either. Sport is one of those social vehicles that people stay in for a long time. They move around the system. They move from club to club, perhaps into the AFL, perhaps onto a club board down the track. And so we do have to have a conversation and ensure that the work that happens from here to really get to the bottom of this does take into account those critical systemic issues.
Well, for people outside the AFL, what discussions take place and have been taking place during the time these alleged incidents took place between the AFL and the Coaches Association, between chairs of clubs, CEOs of clubs, that gives you some sort of confidence that there is change taking place? I mean, this idea of separating people from their culture, when we have had those extraordinary documentaries which show it's important for their football as well as for them as human beings.
Absolutely. You know, the strength of people's cultures is a critical part of the strength of people's identities. And so it's incredibly shocking that there may have been a belief that could have possibly suggested that separating someone from their own culture so cruelly would be beneficial.
What guarantees can you give that the investigation will be culturally safe so that people feel confident to come forward?
Yeah, so that's going to be absolutely critical to us being able to undertake or oversight a process that is culturally safe so people are confident. I've had a number of conversations with Gillan McLaughlin and Andrew Dillon, the General Counsel, and I know that they've also been talking to the Players Association, the Coaches Association as well. So the independence of this panel will be critical, and I'm absolutely assured that whatever the makeup of the panel will be, it will have equal representation of Indigenous and non-Indigenous people.
Tanya Hosch, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you.